What's going on, guys? How's it going?
Welcome back. It's another lovely Friday, y'all.
What's up?
UnPC.
What it do?
Episode 2, officially. We out here, baby.
We in this thing.
We got that high energy today.
Super. It hurts.
Some of us do.
It hurts
Some of us more than others.
Today is the beautiful day, July 17th, 2020.
July 17th,
Yes.
man. Month almost over. It's
Already.
quick.
Halfway over.
Year almost
It's actually
over.
been, the last few days have actually been some beautiful ass days. Like,
I
Today
wish
was
I would
kind of
know.
weird.
Wish
Today
I would
was
know.
kind of rainy in the morning.
yeah, it was kind of, it
cleared up.
It touched, it actually, the sun came out. It touched all, seasonal elements almost.
We are in New
'Cause it was
England. We are
bricks.
in New England.
It was
Yeah.
bricks. The sun came out. It got hot, fucking muggy, all this other bullshit. Then it was just windy and weird, almost like a fall day. And then, honestly, if somebody rubbed their elbows a little too hard, it might have snowed. So, Boom.
New England.
Coulda
That's
touched
just
on all
New
four.
England weather, bro. That's it.
Four
Honestly,
seasons.
man.
But let's get right into it, man. Tim,
Back to work.
Back to work, Tim.
Finally back to work,
Tim.
man.
Tim the
I want
Tuna
to go back to
Taylor.
the couch. Let's be real.
I feel that, man. I feel that.
Oh, wait. Whoa. Rewind. We didn't even introduce ourselves.
Oh, shit.
It's
I'm
your boy,
dogs.
it's your boy Q, aka Q Dobo, man.
Yo, it's JP on a beat. You know that.
Yo, it's Tim. Chef Tim this week, especially.
Oh, shit.
You already knew who we are. We don't need to introduce ourselves anymore.
I was excited to talk.
Nah.
We was excited
but
to
we're
talk
here.
to our
We're here.
fans. We get
we're
it.
here.
It happens. We just get excited.
We had some
Get right
post
into it.
interaction this week, which is great on our last podcast. Thank you so
I
much,
appreciate
guys.
all the feedback, guys. Very
Please.
Appreciate.
appreciated. Yo.
Comment any questions, please.
Anything, yo. We need y'all help finding topics, all this other stuff. We're all a bunch
Questions,
of
concerns.
anything.
What do you want to hear us talk about?
Legit, because we some busy motherfuckers and we be forgetting shit sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's very real. That's
It is
very
what it
real.
is. We're very spontaneous. You know what I mean?
And that too.
We'll talk about potatoes for like an hour for no reason.
Nah.
Just cause.
Potatoes aren't that lit.
But there's so many different ways to eat potatoes. They're the most versatile food.
There's only one way to really eat potatoes.
With your mouth, yeah, I guess. That's a Tim joke. That's a Tim joke. I appreciate that.
He done turned Tim. He done turned
Speaking
Tim
of
on this one.
potatoes, man, how's it going? Tim's back at work.
Yeah,
Feeling.
chefing it up, man. Friendly toast.
Yeah, for those who don't
We're
know,
open.
Tim's a chef at the Friendly Toast.
up.
Like a
He's the area training
Regional
manager, but
manager.
isn't getting paid as well.
I'm essentially a traveling chef for the company.
Wow.
Whatever. But
See, that sounds expensive
We
on
just
payroll.
opened Burlington. It's been a lot of work. It's basically just like reopening. It's like a real opening, like your first ever go around, because it's just the same. We had no staff. Nobody was trained. A new menu. Everything's pretty much just like opening a new store.
Did you guys
Respect.
let new people in? Like, are you guys serving customers already?
Yeah, we started serving yesterday.
So how is the restaurant laid out compared to how it was before? Because I know this whole
Yeah, so
6 feet thing.
we got like half. We were using essentially half the amount of tables that we would previously inside, but we have an additional patio that we never sat before. So
okay.
we're really, if the patio gets full, permitting weather,
Yeah.
we can get about 70% capacity of what we used to have.
Interesting.
So that's not bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah,
not too bad
of
at all.
course.
70%.
Yeah, there's people that really can't get any sort of traffic because it's just so small, unfortunately.
It's like landlocked.
Right.
Exactly. So yeah, man, that's good. I mean, stressful. Is it a good stress, you think?
I mean, it's just coming back to you. I'm like rusty,
I feel that.
I gotta get back to
I
figuring
feel
out.
that.
How many months were you off?
4 months. 4 strong months.
Wow.
gonna chill.
Never in my life have I not worked for 4 months.
That's crazy.
Since I was like 13 years old.
Flipping patties,
Legit.
man. He was a carpenter, level 3.
Yeah.
Came out fucking on some RuneScape shit. That's what I was thinking of when y'all said that. I was like, yo, RuneScape was lit. RuneScape was
used to
lit.
be.
Nah, but it's good. I'm back. I'm happy to be back.
Good.
So are you guys looking for staff, or you said there was no staff?
There was no staff. Now we're overstaffed within a matter of 2 days because everybody is looking to get back to work because their extra $600 ends in 2
At the end
weeks.
of
I
the
heard they were
Yeah.
extending that.
They might. There's a rumor.
But there's still going to be a delay between actually getting that additional
so
money
you need
coming
something
in.
to hold you over.
There's also a
Exactly.
rumor that they're adding a stimulus package for people going back to work.
Yeah, they're incentivizing you going back to
essentially
work. Essentially,
so that they can re-stimulate the economy. Essentially,
of course.
they would be adding $450 a week to people's checks.
Ooh.
That are going back to work. So you're getting your full salary plus $450.
Plus
It will
additional.
essentially be a six.
Bro, I'm
And my
gonna
whole
quit and then go back.
No, I think that you'd count because you're an essential worker.
Yeah, you're an essential
I think
worker.
that would apply to you.
But so if you're already working this whole time, then you are
Yeah,
gonna
anybody
get
paid.
working.
Receive.
That's
Yeah,
what I
you-
heard.
Oh,
Yeah, that's again. It's all still on the table, but
Yeah.
it was sounding very because again, I mean, part of everyone's concern was, for the people that are out here working, what incentive do I have to continue working? Essentially, because it was $600 checks for people who weren't working, and a little bit of a hazard pay increase for people that were working.
Not everybody though. Not everybody even got the hazard.
Yeah,
pay.
not and that's
Which I
another thing
disagree
was
with.
gonna
That
touch
should have
on.
happened.
Yeah, that should have been like. I feel like the same way you instituted an extra $600, you should have introduced like some sort of. Again, I mean, $450 sounds like something that could have worked at the time.
Percentages. It's all percentages.
Something, yeah, legit. Like,
it should all be percentages. It's very simple. But
pay
whatever.
somebody real quick. Like, yo, what's up?
honestly,
What's
so
up?
there was this person that I know that worked like part time,
Yeah,
maybe 2 nights a week, made like $80 a week.
damn.
They made $600 a week during this COVID.
Know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
amazing.
what
Like,
incentive do you have?
They just got a raise of like 500%.
Yeah, I was gonna say 400% right there.
Whatever,
Easy.
it's crazy
Fo.
for
Fo.
literally not working.
Shout out Jay-Z.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah, to literally not work. Meanwhile, fucking the essential workers have been getting the shit end of the deal,
Shafted.
man.
Legit, it was horrible,
Crazy.
and that's something that I just didn't understand. Like, how did you not work out a deal where, for those working, there's some sort of incentive, and for those not working, it worked out.
Because the thing is, it all makes sense when you look at it from like the perspective of they're more worried about the economy than people's actual
Work status.
Like not even work
Lifestyle.
status, but well-being, state
Well-being,
of mind.
yes.
Like
Okay,
you know what I mean?
I see.
Lives. They're more
Yeah.
worried about the people that aren't working need money so they can buy stuff. The people that are working have money, so they're good.
Yeah, that was
versus-
true.
they're
I see
already
that
used to
now. I
living
see what you're
off.
saying.
They're already used to living off of this salary. Why change it?
Yeah,
It doesn't
versus
mean change it.
versus like analyzing and realizing the life risk, and
And it's another thing too, where I was reading, like I was kind of peeping the numbers of people that were working, and again, I mean, when they had a lot of disposable income, they were actually holding on to a lot of this cash in fear of what not
to
knowing what was
come,
going to
right.
happen next,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah, definitely.
So I mean, it only made sense. I mean, to me, it would only make sense that you allow those who are already working. Again, that extra bit of cash, because that extra bit of cash is what you would use as your play money.
spend, right?
I mean,
You know what I'm
look,
saying?
think about how many people that were still working at, for instance, like Hannaford or Market Basket,
right.
that are uninsured people in this country.
So yeah, provide them some
and
sort of
then
incentive.
They could catch COVID and have no
And
way
did.
to
They
pay
did catch
for
COVID.
their health.
I feel
you
like
know
they
what I mean?
were. I heard they introduced. I mean, I'm not too thingy on it, but I swear they passed something like with the CARES Act that you would receive health insurance if you were again infected by COVID in any sort of way,
Or your
even
job
if it
would
was
have to pay out or something.
exactly.
for it.
You're exactly.
Okay. I mean, I
I didn't hear about that, but that would.
I mean, that was in that last iteration of the CARES Act. So it was
okay, the most
yeah,
recent
yeah.
one.
So it was like, I mean, it was a couple. I want to say it was like literally next month, so March, April. They introduced, because then that's when they started rolling out that $600.
Yeah, and the stimulus and everything.
Mm-hmm. So it was
Still
something. along
haven't
those
got
lines.
my IRS. You got my number. Hit me up.
Facts. I mean, the
Sure,
IRS has
boy.
40 different numbers on you last time. Remember when we looked that up? You're like,
Oh,
known
dude, that's
as
so true. I have like
Timothy
3 names.
Larazier.
the
That's a
heck?
good one.
Yeah, and I had 3 addresses that I never lived at on
But it
there.
was strange, bro.
Someone's probably trying to steal
No,
your
but it was
identity.
just misspellings essentially
Yeah.
of my address.
Someone's
That's
trying
weird.
to steal that identity.
Facts.
Take it, please.
Oh man, Smith. I know, right?
Please don't take my man's identity. He's gonna need
I'll give
that.
you my no, I won't.
Yikes.
He's got to pay out for that.
I'll give you my something else. Anyways,
I don't know how to feel about that.
I couldn't think of what I was gonna say, so I just had to stop the sentence.
I appreciate that, and I'm sure the fans appreciate.
All, folks.
My social networks. That's what I was trying to say, but I couldn't think of the word network.
It's a long day for you, man. It's a long.
You know, I've been up since 5:30, 5:25 ish. I went to the gym before work.
I was gonna say, are you continuing the trend? Yeah.
I mean, continuing and trying. I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Like for you guys that do hit the gym prior to work, how do you guys feel like that affects your?
I don't hit the gym prior. I'm an after guy.
Oh, you're an after guy. Okay.
I might even I'll work, come home, maybe take a nap, then I hit the gym.
I've never been the guy that's like, I'm gonna wake up early, go to work.
I want to be that guy.
The gym.
Yeah,
I hear they're productive.
Go to the gym. Go to work.
You already got the blood flowing. Might as well.
I've never been that guy. Usually, I'm the guy. I wake up 10 minutes before I have to leave the house.
Yeah, that sounds about
And
me.
then go to work. And then hit the gym. Because that's what I did when I was like at my fittest ever was work.
Bro, I called UML.
And go to the gym.
I called UML Rec Center because, as we had the memberships.
Yes.
And due to COVID-19, we weren't able to fulfill the full, membership.
Not even close.
Bro, so they're actually still closed. So they're still closed. Gyms are reopening.
Best Fitness is open. It's technically, but I think it's part of the university.
Yeah, so they're saying since the university's closed. Yeah, I get it. But
I hope there's some sort of reimbursement for you.
Yeah, I was trying to call them. Like, am I going to be reimbursed?
I don't even want reimbursement. Just let me have next semester for free.
For the freezy. I just want to work on my yumper. I was actually working on it a little bit today.
Hey, I like that.
Nice.
Therapy, man. It's therapy.
That's exactly how I feel, man.
It's just
quarantine did bring me back to the basics of playing Call of Duty and basketball.
Yeah, man. Gotta go back to your roots. I mean, we haven't had this much. Well, I was working, but for those that weren't working, I'm sure that you guys haven't had that much free time in a long time. Like
legit, it's almost like a reset. It's almost like a reset, man. Because remember, we were so work centric,
right?
That maybe all of this was like a little bit of a blessing in disguise. Like it kind of let everybody, you know what I'm saying, finally take a little bit and then go back to work.
More of a work-life balance than they do.
I mean, some people take work home with them too. Like
as a salesman, yes, I very much take homework with me too.
Everything that happens at work for me, is left at the door.
I preach to every employee that's under me. If you're not at work, just don't answer the phone. I mean, answer the phone, but don't bring anything home. Like just any chef that I have trained, I'm like, don't bring your laptop home. Leave it here. You're good. Just put in your hours.
You don't get paid.
Your coworkers.
Oh, like the head chefs.
I mean, they don't get laptops, but they have there's a work laptop, and they can bring it home if they have to. But they have to do stuff, scheduling, whatever. I'm like, leave it here.
Yeah,
you're good. You work your hours. You get paid for what you work, and usually not even all of what you work. You get paid for
salary.
No, we're getting we get paid salary.
C'est la vie.
You get paid salary, but
I'm out.
Every hour that you're not. Je ne sais quoi.
Comment se dit P? I'm out. If I ain't getting paid salary, you can't contact me. I put the work group chat on the mutes on the DMV.
I mean, there are people that do that, man. My schedule says 3 o'clock, and it's 3. I'm gone.
That's it.
Not me personally. I could never leave my team in need, but that's just me.
Yeah,
you gotta find some
that guy. I used to be that guy, but the pizza parties and the thank yous just weren't enough. They just stopped hitting.
Nah, it's not legit. It doesn't hit right.
It's not hitting. I'm sorry.
I just have this huge sense of team and family that I need to help them any way I can. And that's honestly probably my biggest flaw.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's a gift and a curse, man. It's a gift and a curse.
It's a gift and a curse. You don't want to be taken advantage of by a corporation or a person. You know what I mean?
Right. That's my whole thing. Yeah. Because there's times where, again, you're all, pro team. Let me stay here a couple extra minutes, get everything done. But then it's not being shown, like you said, it's not being shown. There's no
reciprocated. It's not being reciprocated. Nah, which is how it works. I get that. Yeah. And that's, sometimes you got to put in the dirty work. And I'm the guy that's always going to put in the dirty work.
I hear that. But I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I eat. But,
you know who else be putting in that dirty work?
Who?
Dwight Howard, man.
showing up to bubble parties by himself.
The old bull. Shout out Dwight Howard, man.
Yeah, legit, man. He's out here.
So apparently in Orlando at the NBA bubble, the Hubble, you know what I'm saying? The hub. They had a pool party. The NBA decided to throw a pool party for the players. They had a few DJs, whatever. They had obviously all the teams that are in Orlando in the bubble are there. But for this particular party, Dwight Howard is the only single NBA player to show up.
Respect.
He was in the pool playing Marco Solo.
Oh, shit. That's more cool for him, man. Honestly, that's a big body already. I think that's more.
I don't fuck with this social distancing.
So
could you imagine being the only one to pull up to a party that wasn't even thrown by you?
Like, for real.
It hurts.
The host didn't even show up.
Silver wasn't even there. Like, what are we doing?
How many DJs were there on rotation? They didn't even want to be there.
They paid more for this party than... I don't even know, man. That's just crazy. That's embarrassing, NBA. What are you doing?
Like, I don't get, like, why throw a party?
Rondo, why weren't you there?
My thing is the NBA would throw a party and then really bash the players that went, though. Like, if they really, if somebody went to a party and went all out, I can see them making headlines like, oh,
but they're in the bubble. They gotta have some sort of fun, right?
Facts.
But I mean, Headspace is trying to get your season back up and running, right? So I guess playoffs are right around the corner for most teams, including Dwight Howard's. Right. So shouldn't their head be more in the game?
It definitely should.
But sometimes you need to relax a little bit, have some fun.
I mean, look at Dennis Rodman. You know,
that's a little bit
Vegas,
too relaxed.
When Breezy came back, and was the best dude on the court.
I mean, like the dude that ordered some Postmates food. You know, he went to get his food. He got kicked out the bubble.
Crazy.
Oh, actually, we're doing too much.
Speaking of the bubble, did you guys hear about James Harden?
No.
Yes.
He did. So to fill in the viewers, so James Harden's receiving some backlash very recently for wearing a Blue Lives Matter face mask. He claims to not have known what the flag was.
The
mask was. He says it was the only mask that could cover his whole beard, and he doesn't have internet. He's not online like that, so he just claimed to be ignorant to the entire insignia or symbolism of the flag.
Do we believe him?
Or the mask. Do I believe him? Yeah, I do. I mean, this is James Harden. If he really meant that mask for what it was, he could have just said that.
He would have made a statement.
Yeah, he could have made a statement.
How do you feel?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know, man. I mean, there's so much we don't know. But it's one of those things where, like, all right, I mean, he came out, he explained what he thought, he thought it looked cool. Again, it covered the beard.
This is maybe my opinion, right? Maybe he's colorblind and he doesn't realize it.
Oh, boy.
Damn.
Right? I mean,
he's not colorblind. We would know.
How would we know that? Hoop is a hoop.
With everything in today's era, the information generation.
I mean, I don't know how he dresses, so I don't know.
I mean, he dresses in very bold colors at times, so I think he knows.
James Harden.
He also has a stylist too, so maybe
I have to throw out these random things.
Conspiracy might not be.
He could have even said that. I'm colorblind.
I mean, true.
Yeah, facts.
But then now,
Then that opens up another can of worms, though.
Being colorblind.
Right.
That's true.
He's cheating.
Knowing 2020, they would have been like, being in 2020, they would have been like, colorblind. What does he mean? He doesn't see color?
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say that.
Harden, canceled now.
Cancel him.
Get all the Karens on the phone. We're canceling Harden.
But I know how, well, I don't know these guys, but some celebrities, when you're at the
peak.
When you're at the peak of your celebrity, like Lil Wayne, for instance, like these people, Lil Wayne's on record saying that he doesn't support Black Lives Matter or something like that, quote unquote, because he claimed he didn't even know what it was. He didn't know it was a thing.
True. I did remember that. Because he was talking about how the police officer that saved him was white.
So he's
he did say that.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, back in the day, I remember that video.
So some of these people, some of these celebrities, still people, but for the sake of the argument, some of these people are just, they're not in tune with, they can't be online all the time because their messaging, their mentions are just going crazy.
Yeah, how you put it last time, you said when Patrick Chung, they're not citizens.
Right.
They are citizens, but they're so far like above us, like economically and just like
socially.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
It's just doesn't even occur to them.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
someone like Jay-Z might tweet once a year.
Legit.
And that's not even a stretch.
News. And that's big shit when
that's not even a stretch. So it's like I can see not having internet is I don't believe that.
Nah,
but being on social media, that part I believe. Yeah, respect. That part I mean, Kawhi's not on social media. People do it all the time.
Yeah, a lot of motherfuckers are not on socials. Why?
It's just a distraction for one.
Right. Not everybody's going to be LeBron James game.
And then he turns him off. He turns him off during the playoffs.
Right.
Respect.
So James Harden should probably, turn. If he doesn't have the internet, he should get rid of his TV or something during those playoffs. Because damn that he doesn't focus during those.
He don't.
It's not that he doesn't focus. It's just he loses.
He be doing wild shit.
He be doing too much during the regular season.
That's true.
That's a Peyton Manning.
You can lose steam because you're balling. Yeah, you're balling.
I mean, if you know what I mean by a Peyton Manning, it's like somebody that's probably one of the best players of all time during the regular season, and then struggles to win the big game in the playoffs.
Right. Yikes!
That's a Peyton Manning.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
I feel that. Who's the biggest Peyton Manning in the NBA?
Right now or of all time?
Right now. Let's just keep it at right now, because then if we talk about all time, then you would know. You would know. I wouldn't know.
Nah, I mean, you guys know the names.
Who's the biggest Peyton Manning as we use it today on the cast for the NBA in today's generation? We'll say from 2000 to 2020.
Okay,
last 20 years.
Okay,
yeah, we can do that.
Damn.
Crazy regular season, playoffs, just can't get it done. I'm gonna go ahead and say one of my favorite players, and it might not even be him so much as just terrible luck.
His team.
Maybe it's. I'm just gonna say it. CP3. I love that guy.
I see that.
One of my favorite players all time, but come playoff time, it's broken hand, it's this, it's that.
It's always an excuse.
It's just like, what's going on? So I'm gonna say CP3.
Okay.
Solid.
I'm gonna talk about the picks after I make my pick, and then we can discuss.
Go ahead. I'll make the last pick because I'm a little slow right now.
It comes down to a couple of things for me.
Okay.
Go ahead.
A couple players, I mean.
Sure.
You could argue that there's still some of them are still young, so I'm probably not gonna say the one I'm thinking of that's too young right now. But
Donovan Mitchell? I bet.
Nah.
Okay, all right, you better not.
He's not like. I'm talking god level players that are performing like regular ass people.
Oh, okay.
Because
all right. Because that kind of
they're having MVP type seasons, and they're not.
Oh yeah, I think I know where you're going.
Okay.
I know where you're going, but
that's what I mean by like Peyton Manning, MVP. Yeah. Arguably one of the greatest players of all time.
Then gets carried in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Or I mean, we're not even. To me, he has one Super Bowl ring.
Can you name a person, please?
Yes. Right now, I mean. It could be James Harden, Russell Westbrook. I'm gonna go
definitely Russell.
Russell is on there.
I'm gonna go with both of them combined.
Combined.
Yeah. Like together, they're pretty much equal. Because they played together in OKC. They play together now. They've had some. We'll talk about it after. JP, go.
Honestly, for me, although again, as of late, he's been really like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Damian Lillard, man, to me.
That's disrespect. That's disrespect.
My whole thing is, again, great. I mean, but partly due to him not having the players around him to really make it happen.
Right.
If we're seeing that.
Now let's argue about why your opinion is wrong.
I feel like you gotta be Peyton if you're Peyton Manning, like if you're not producing. You're producing all regular season, but come playoffs you're not producing.
And it's solely it's not necessarily solely your fault.
Okay. Maybe that pick was
Damian Lillard hasn't gone as far.
Yeah.
But
there's times where he has
carried his team through playoffs. He's won series individually.
Right.
James Harden is a player that can do that and has yet to do that in the playoffs.
Respect.
In my opinion.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about the first round series. That shit, I mean, the West is actually a good series, but he's getting swept out the playoffs. Whatever they're getting done.
But to piggyback off what you just said, yes, James Harden is a player that can do that. But Russell Westbrook, I don't think he is. I don't think he has a leadership.
Well, and then you put them together, there's no chance they're winning anything.
The issue for me, in OKC was there was nobody willing to take the B role. You had two great talents, but no one was willing to take the three. But just in the 3-1 series against Golden State, you had KD and Russell.
Yeah.
Great MVP talents, but no one wanted to take that back seat. Now you give Russell Westbrook another MVP talent, James Harden, and still... Who's going to take the back seat? Damn sure not Harden.
They're still going to both get their shots.
I don't even think Russell Westbrook's gameplay could be like, he has to take the ball down. He has to be explosive.
He's a facilitator.
Yeah, right. He has
to play as a facilitator. He has to. And he has to attack, and that's good.
But you can't minimize or marginalize, rather, James Harden to just a role play, catch and shoot wing guy.
I mean...
There's too much talent there.
No, absolutely.
That's true.
But, my point, their playoff performances...
don't necessarily
add up to what their potential could be, especially together. Because they're such good players in the regular season. They're averaging triple doubles
together.
Didn't they play last year?
Yeah, they did
together.
No, wait.
Yes.
Versus Golden State.
Versus the Trailblazers. You're Damian Lillard who beat him.
No. I know. The more I think about it, maybe.
Remember the game when he shot that he hit on Paul? Oh no, I'm sorry. No. They played.
That was OKC.
That was Russell. That's Russell.
Yeah, that was last year, right?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, that's not what
I haven't played yet. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I haven't seen them together in the playoffs.
I'm remembering Russell Westbrook and Paul George playing last year.
Right, which was another great talent.
Yeah, that is a great talent.
I think that's a better fit than James Harden and Russell Westbrook
in terms of
because defensively,
they're both
Paul George actually is a really good defender.
Yeah.
Somewhere where that Westbrook isn't always a good defender, so
he just doesn't apply himself.
And it makes sense.
Right, that's my whole thing. He could be probably one of the best defenders in the NBA.
And it makes sense to have especially seeing that the league is very forward centric as far as talent. It's good to have two of these caliber, lockdown defenders. Because then that means when you're facing teams with multiple threats, you have somebody who.
Now we're talking about last year's Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, and then them two dudes off the bench, and Danny Green, the pretty great defender.
Very defensive minded.
Serge Ibaka, they had a really rotation based defense.
That's true.
They did.
And then now you're talking about the Clippers, where everybody is almost the same height.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's just a decent defender.
And they have Pat Bev, who's that head, he'll get in your head.
That's
and then comparably on the East, you have the Celtics with a very small team. Their tallest player is 6'9".
The NBA is getting ever so smaller.
Legit, but the athleticism is through the roof.
I feel like the average height of the NBA has gradually gone down, at least over the last 10 years.
I don't think it's gone down. I think it actually went up.
Average height?
I think so. I think that I saw a stat that it's actually up.
Really? Because I feel like a lot of teams are minimizing their bigs because they want to go stretch.
But then you look at the Bucks. They're they're probably I think they're the tallest team of all time.
Oh damn, all time.
I think I saw that stat.
Nowadays centers are 6'9" now. Tristan Thompson's a listed center.
But back in the day, centers were 6'6".
Draymond Green, another one of those.
That's crazy.
It's kind of strange.
That's why someone like Will came into the league. Bill Russell comes into the league.
6'9". Bill Russell was 6'9".
Right, but that's why he could come into the league and dominate at 6'9".
Because he's moving. He's way more athletic than your average center.
I didn't know centers back then were 6'6", so that's crazy.
It wasn't a common thing, but there were centers that were 6'6".
Then again,
how tall is Charles Barkley?
Then again, Michael Jordan was out there going up against plumbers and fucking carpenters and shit.
Here we go.
So I guess
I'm not going to go on this podcast right now and start debating eras because
I guess it makes sense.
You're the best player in your era. I think that there's GOATs of each generation.
Legit.
Of course.
I think
and it does that player a little bit of a disservice to really say you're the greatest of all of these times.
You can't prove, you can't disprove or prove that somebody's going to be better than that person in their own generation.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
I feel that, but I feel I feel like what you can more argue, because as we know, winning championships is a team thing. So arguing who's the best based off rings or even accolades, like if you're not on the right team, you're not going to be able to do certain things.
You can't prosper as a player.
Right,
You can't
prosper. That's why I come down to this whole Peyton Manning thing.
But I feel like you can almost argue like who would possibly win in one-on-ones.
You can't even argue that. You can't.
But why not?
Can't you?
Because they all play different positions. You're talking about...
But if you're a center or center's height, but you're as agile as, let's say, a Kyrie, you got Kyrie handles, you're big, you're athletic.
Yeah,
I feel
so
like,
in that
this guy can't be stopped one-on-one.
The best player of all time is Kevin Durant. No one's stopping Kevin Durant, not even LeBron James.
But no one's stopping LeBron either.
I think Kevin Durant would... I think he would win 1v1 against LeBron James.
There's a few players that I'd like to see.
But I'm not saying Kevin Durant's a better player than LeBron James. I'm just saying one-on-one, nobody stops LeBron James.
I mean, he just has all the right attributes.
But why didn't Kevin Durant stop LeBron James when he had the chance in the playoffs?
Because it's not. OKC. This is my thing about.
I feel like he's seen him later.
Hold on.
He was
this
older.
is not my point. This is exactly my point.
Basketball
is not a one-on-one sport.
Right.
It's a team sport.
It is a team sport. Yeah,
LeBron James is a better team player than Kevin Durant.
Respect.
He's a better passer.
Who's winning in the one-on-one though?
The Kevin Durant. He's going to win against anybody in any generation
Durant
ever.
The best offensive. He's a demigod, you know.
He is.
And I'm a LeBron fan, but Kevin Durant is just a demigod. Like, there's nothing on offense he can't do. Like,
he is the purest scorer I've ever seen, and I probably will ever see.
What I thought Carmelo Anthony was actually Kevin Durant
the whole time.
That's a great way to put it.
Like, I thought Carmelo Anthony was like
speaking of our last point, Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say that,
but he started dwindling even in the regular season. That's why I couldn't even mention.
Yeah, that's why it was kind of strange for me to even mention him.
Talent around him,
but in his prime, he was actually producing in the playoffs.
Right, but not to the level we would expect because he
went to the Western Conference. Finals.
He went. Damian Lillard has went to the Western Conference Finals, and we're still putting him in that conversation.
I'm not.
I've already said I've redacted that statement.
Give me another name. Give me another name.
Let's say Nah, I don't know.
Fuck, I don't know. Fucking Michael Pinterest. Like, what the fuck? Let's move the fuck on. Like,
for y'all who don't know, which is probably all of you.
Legit. Nobody fucking knows. If I ever describe you as a Michael Pinterest, just know that that's not great. Just saying. Just throwing that out there.
So the one I was going to say that was like about younger, he's young, is still Giannis. Because to me, right now, Giannis has the potential to be a Peyton Manning.
Wait, but in
No. Okay. Potential. Not necessarily that he's going to, because the last 2 years, right?
Yeah.
He lost to the 76ers last year.
That was strange. That was a strange
winnable series was they both had pretty good teams, but Jimmy Butler, an arguably much worse player than Giannis,
I agree,
beat them.
But wasn't that his first time in the playoffs?
Who?
Giannis?
Nah.
No.
LeBron's been spanking him.
Oh yeah, they played the Celtics.
They played the Celtics with a rookie Jason Tatum.
You're right.
Starting point guard of Terry Rozier. Jaylen Brown, second year. You're talking about not bums, but they're up and coming. You know what I mean?
But they turned up in the playoffs, though. They turned up in the playoffs.
They had right.
They did a little turning up.
They did the opposite of what Giannis did. Giannis should have single-handedly mopped them.
I know. My thing is, like, I could still see... I mean, at least, like, I know that Celtics run in the 76ers, that I still saw timidness in them in the playoffs. Maybe that was lack of experience being there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he's still young. That's why I didn't put him on that list. I said he has the potential to make
I don't think we'll see much Peyton Manning from Giannis. Just saying.
All right. I hope this year he proves me wrong and wins a ring.
I mean, now this year's a weird one, and we could understand that. Again, I mean, I'm personally, this is personal. I'm putting an asterisk on whoever wins this one because this whole season was skewed.
I'm not, man. I'm not.
I am. Again, it's personal. Because at the end of the day, it's just like whether the season stopped or kept going. This is just more. This is just another hurdle. Regular seasons have hurdles, so it's like whatever team can overcome the hurdles of the regular season, no matter what they are, and then still remain prosperous come finals. That's the champ.
It's going to pretty much depend on the best player of each series is gonna win that series,
regardless of circumstances.
Most likely.
Think about it. When LeBron didn't have Kevin Love and Kyrie, are we putting an asterisk on Golden State's ring?
No. I'm just putting it as.
But it means a little less
again
to certain people.
Y'all don't have to.
But it's still.
No, I know.
It's still very much, literally, a championship.
Same thing as last year
in the game.
Toronto.
Respect.
They lost KD and Clay.
Yeah, right.
That's up to
right.
I'm putting it due to scheduling, to again COVID in general, fucking everything up. If you get this, you can't play for 2 weeks. You're fucking up team dynamics at that point.
Right.
So I mean, there's a magnitude of things that add to that, which for me personally, it's an asterisk. But whoever wins it, you earned it, of course.
Right, and I mean, on your point, it makes sense because then. Fuck, I lost my point.
And you're definitely entitled to that, but why I believe that the asterisk thing is kind of like we can't do that is just for the simple fact that, okay, let's say COVID-19, new thing takes you off for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. What's the difference between that and breaking an injury?
Ankle sprain, yeah. Or here's another way to say another point, yeah.
Respect.
But the other team also has to face the same hurdle of COVID-19.
Right. And not only that, think about it. A lot of guys weren't even 100%. Kawhi was doing load management before COVID-19.
For all of that, yeah.
This is the ultimate.
He just got 4 months off, paid vacation, chilling.
Everybody should be back and healthy unless those who are facing COVID.
Long term.
Everybody else should be ready to... in shape, as they're saying. They're probably, vacationing, snacking, whatever. But... still, you should be health-wise, injury-wise. You should be
ready to rock. Yeah, ready to rock.
This should be the best playoffs we've seen in years.
Everybody who is able to be there is going to be fresh. Absolutely.
I mean, some players, I don't know.
My thing, I remembered my point.
It's a 4-month
I remembered my point.
What's up?
The whole asterisk thing for me comes in, it kind of makes sense for, if you have home court advantage. Because people work hard to get that number 1 seed.
And this won't matter.
That's true.
And this won't matter. You're all playing under the same.
There's no home court advantage.
No fans, to me, in basketball, football, and hockey. Basketball and football more so.
Yeah, for sure.
Home court matters a lot.
But I will say too, adding to that is just, like you said, just a few moments ago, that could be another reason why this is one of the greatest playoffs we see of all time, because now we're taking away advantages. People are healthy in an ironic sense, you know what I mean, given everything going on. Yeah. Players are healthy. There's no home court advantage. They should be locked in.
I hope they're balling. That's my thing. It's going to be
minimal distractions.
From that point, it's definitely going to be a very interesting playoffs. It's just, again, if you're on the unfortunate end of not having all your players there due to this virus, you might not necessarily see it as a fruitful year. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just out for such a long duration of time. I mean, and especially when we're talking playoffs, let's remember, okay, these few games to get to the playoffs, cool. But God forbid something happens in that time, and now during the playoffs you're out for 2 weeks. Right. That changes everything. Absolutely everything.
Now here's my thing, right? Mm-hmm. What if the potential, what if LeBron James, for instance, gets COVID-19?
God forbid.
And the rest of his team gets COVID-19. Some of his teammates get COVID-19. Did they cancel the Lakers? Do they eliminate the Lakers just because
team can't play?
Right. So if the whole team, so they get eliminated because of that,
or do they pull? Well, we can't say that.
So I'm just saying
it's just hypothetical. Yeah,
that to me would be an asterisk. That then you're eliminating teams because they can't play.
Right. Not because they
lost. Because
not because eliminated. Of course not. Because
if that happens,
that's
I'll play on the Lakers and get my ass beat.
If that happens, then asterisks do need to be issued. But by the way,
if entire teams are wiped out?
Yeah, if teams are eliminated because think about it, this thing is so contagious too. That's one person having it on an organization can really ruin it for everybody.
Ask Rudy Gobert that.
You know what I'm saying?
Rudy, I still can't believe that he really touched everything.
No, but Key, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think I was going to say prayers up for Zion Williamson. He actually left the bubble recently due to an undisclosed family emergency. I don't know what it is exactly.
Prayers out to Cat.
I hope he's good.
Cat, prayers up to Cat.
Man, that hurts.
Towns. Lost his mom to COVID-19.
Yeah, there's been a few. I mean, totally different sport, but also that Romanian, was he Romanian? No. Fuck, what was his name? From that UFC, really nice.
UFC?
Fuck.
He lost somebody?
He lost his dad too, yeah, due to COVID. Fuck.
Damn.
I mean, prayers up to everybody.
Yeah, everybody's losing people,
COVID-19, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Khabib lost his dad too.
Oh, Khabib?
Oh, wow.
Lost his dad due to COVID.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know why it took so long. Yeah,
R.I.P. to all you people. Oh,
rest in peace.
Condolences to all your families, everything, you know.
That's tough, man.
It's a hard time that we're all going through.
Yeah. But on to another subject. You guys heard about Nick Cannon?
Oh, the whole Viacom situation.
Somebody enlighten the crowd, please.
Yes.
So he said again. I don't know the specific details.
Just give him verbatim.
I just remember him saying that. Was it on his podcast? Do you guys?
I think it was on. So he has a radio show.
Yeah, he has a radio show. Yeah, so he said that whites and Jews are a bunch of savages.
Are the true savages.
Sorry.
He went on to also say that the Jews as we know today aren't the true Hebrews, and that the African Americans are the Hebrews.
And the 12 lost tribes of Israel. True.
Right.
Yeah.
And and it's actually been like an ongoing thing. So to wrap up the story about what happened with him is so pretty much Viacom pretty much canceled Nick Cannon. They fired him. Yep. They dropped Wild and Out. My thing is, wasn't he? I know Viacom owns Nickelodeon. Wasn't he the CEO of Teen Nick as well? He wore many hats.
I know he did something for them. I don't know his exact position, but I remember he was very involved with.
And then after that happened, he issued an apology, obviously, because you have to apologize for everything that you say nowadays.
Right. I don't necessarily like the fact that he apologized.
I get it. I get both sides of that, but he apologized. But my point was that the Masked Singer is keeping him as their host.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good. Okay, so some good news in that. Yeah.
I know Diddy had extended a tweet, a social media job offer, pretty much come through.
Oh yes, you were saying that. Yep.
So Nick Cannon's been immobile for years now. I mean, people crack on him for his music or for whatever reason, Mariah, but the man's been immobile for a long time. He's
always had cash. He's always known how to move right.
He's not. I'm not worried about him.
Nick Cannon is good as much as
his album was terrible. All his albums, all his music, terrible.
A lot of his music was trash.
I'm not going to say that.
We're still to this day talking about Nick Cannon. Legit. So he has to be doing something right.
Like Nick Cannon started out as just like a little comedian. He had a little sketch show on Nickelodeon. Goofy dude.
Drumline was big.
That was a great movie.
Drumline kind of pivoted his career. Love Don't Cost a Thing, one of my favorite movies.
Great movie.
I love Love Don't Cost a Thing. Shout out to
do yourself a favor.
Shout out to Shorty.
I'm gonna look that up while you speak on something else.
No, don't look it up because I need to know that name. I should know that name.
Alright, I got you.
Actually, look it up and show me real quick.
Christina Milian.
Oh, yes. That's who it was.
Yeah,
you're right.
She was a cute thing. What happened to her?
She got knocked up by the Dream, man.
Oh,
of all people, and then he cheated on her with a secretary.
Come on.
I will say, just for all the haters out there, the Dreams version of Brick the Window.
Oh crap!
If y'all haven't done yourself the favor,
I'm gonna have to listen to that.
Please.
The hard ones.
I probably heard it. I just not good music.
The hard ones with the hard ones.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because I remember at first kind of bashing on him.
He's a good guy. I like the guy. Weird situation. Shout out Dream. Great music. Great catalog. You're moving a little weird, buddy. But that's all. When you have Christina Milian on the...
To each its own.
All right, but now, back to this Nick Cannon thing, right?
Yeah, facts. I'm sorry, we got carried away.
How do you guys feel about what he said?
If I was in his position, and again, I mean, through life, you acquire knowledge. We live in an age of information. The truth will come to light.
Right.
You slowly start piecing all of these things together.
Right.
I don't apologize for what I said.
Like, are we gonna apologize for being honest?
Now, my whole thing is, do you guys feel that it's a hate hateful what he said.
All right,
No, he's not wrong.
Before I touch on that, I want to remove Nick Cannon from my next statement, right?
Yeah.
I want to remove Nick Cannon from my next statement.
Yeah.
If I say something and it's honest and it's true, it may hurt some feelings, as they've been saying for generations. The truth hurts. Mm-hmm. If I say something and it's true, and it hurts some feelings, why is it that person, or why is it that I should have to apologize? If it was true,
I don't think you should.
You shouldn't.
I mean, I'm all for
Nick Cannon
truth being told.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not lying.
I'm not buttering somebody up.
If I say, Grandma, you need to stop smoking, that shit's gonna fucking kill you.
You're not apologizing.
May have hurt some feelings. Maybe I could have said it a little better, a little sweeter. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to,
with honey, sugar.
But my whole
trying to
thing
get the point across.
Exactly. That's my whole thing. Like, yo, you're telling people what it is, right? And again, it's something you're passionate about, right?
Right.
You shouldn't have to sugarcoat it for nobody. You should take that.
Right, I agree with that. If it rubs
you the wrong way, then maybe you might have to look into yourself a little bit.
So are we getting then back to cancel culture and how cancel culture
I was never one cancel culture.
I don't understand.
I know how we feel.
Yeah, we.
90, I'm gonna say, like, bro, honestly, 90% of like what cancel culture is canceling, either I'm not invested in it enough to even care to cancel or not cancel it, or it's really over some
bullshit. Like, yo, not. I remember at one point when they were trying to cancel Kevin Hart over some shit that he had on Twitter
years ago.
Yes,
a while back. Like, are you not allowed to grow as a human being?
This actually happened to him. He was supposed to do the Oscars.
Yeah.
He was supposed to host the Oscars,
and over some shit he said a while back,
canceled from the Oscars because of a tweet.
Apology.
All this other shit, like, yo, are you not allowed?
He didn't want to issue an apology. I watched his documentary series on Netflix.
Okay,
he did,
which is actually, like, I recommend watching. That was actually really
Kevin Hart has a good story. Has a good
actually,
don't apologize.
I would watch that.
You know what I'm saying?
Honestly,
like, you're allowed. You're allowed to grow.
He said something homophobic, didn't he?
It was something definitely homophobic.
I remember
it was
it's also. It was just like he was probably joking. He's a comedian.
It was something along the lines of. It was something right, and we had this conversation before. Well, I've had this conversation with a few people where it's like, I don't want to say anyone's exempt from any other thing that another human being wouldn't be, but like when comedians are saying certain things, we kind of have to look at it from like from that perspective.
You have to put on your comedian goggles.
Legit, right. You can't hold what they're saying to, because remember, again, a lot of comedians do tell what's going on with current events in a way that it's digestible to people who would be completely out of the loop.
Right.
So you know, whatever was going on at the time, again, we would have to look into the context. Again, remember at that time too, people were saying all these slurs in a manner that was not offensive. You know,
a lot of things that are seen as offensive today weren't seen as offensive at the time of this tweet.
Here's the thing. I don't personally necessarily disagree with you, but I understand that that's not true.
What's not true?
Those words were hurtful to other people, but they didn't voice that opinion, and that opinion,
agreed. 100%
that opinion wasn't out there.
Right. It wasn't because
social media wasn't as big.
So it wasn't
common knowledge.
It wasn't common knowledge at the time. So I mean, can you fault someone for that particular? Because again, it takes a lot of outcry for people to understand where exactly you're coming from.
I'm not saying that it's right.
I'm not holding them to it. It's just a matter of like, don't apologize.
If that word is like offensive to you.
Mm-hmm. And again, we don't know what word
we can't all know.
I don't think it was a word he said. I think it was something he said something, but we'll just imagine it was a word. But it was something along the lines of like, if he found his son playing with like a dollhouse, he would like throw the dollhouse at his son.
Yeah. Right.
So he didn't even use a term. He kind of just, it was like
insinuating
violence upon his son for
becoming a homophobic.
But remember, but what people fail to realize is that this is the point of comedy. It's about, again, I mean, maybe he might have not been talking about, I mean, that could have sparked a conversation as to talking about what exactly are we, you know, what to do with our children and stuff, like how to, you know, expose them to certain things so at least they understand, but like,
at the time, Kevin Hart didn't understand that would be offensive.
But my thing is, like,
but my whole thing is that's the thing. You dig back in time for something that, again, I mean, if he would have said something, let me just mention what I said before. Nah, people did the digging and decided to do the canceling. That's my whole thing. You don't apologize for that.
And to piggyback off of that, like, and I'll say this. So, do I agree with what he said? No, he shouldn't have said that. It was gross and it shouldn't have been said.
Yes.
But I will also say, separated from that is when you go back, like as men and women, as humans, we're all born essentially ignorant. Mm-hmm. Right, and it takes the gathering of knowledge. We have to gain knowledge. So when we're going back in time to see what people are doing and then canceling them on things that they wouldn't do today, we're canceling the man he is, the person now for what they did then.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I don't understand. That's why if I was Kevin Hart, I wouldn't apologize.
If they're still portraying these behaviors, then by all means cancel them. We're canceling that. I'm not the same man I was yesterday. I live on the fact that, or not the fact, but I believe. I don't know why I'm stuttering. I believe that with what I do on a daily basis, that every day I'm 1% better than the day before. Of course. I live by that.
You chisel yourself and you create a better version of yourself.
So if we go back 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, thousands of days, I'm not that same person.
Of course not. And that's
even 10 days from now, I'm not that same person.
My morals are probably all going to be the same, but the way I act and the way I am is going to be
sometimes even your
different.
Morals change a little bit.
I mean, they can.
Have different perspectives.
If your understanding of everything going on.
Any decent human being should be malleable enough.
Yes,
to change when they're given.
Absolutely.
When they're given the knowledge. When you're presented with the knowledge, you should be able and willing to learn and relearn things and even unlearn things.
Unlearn shit.
That's a big one.
Important.
That's a huge one. That's a huge one because people that went to public school in America have to unlearn so much about American history that is just not true.
And so to bring it all home, they went ahead and canceled Kevin Hart for saying something completely gross that he shouldn't have said years ago. But this is the same Kevin Hart that wore a purple fairy dress on SNL. How homophobic does he seem today?
Legit. So bingo. I mean, you're kind of. I mean, it's the wrong thing to attack.
I think before we cancel, let's have dialogues. We got to stop with this canceling.
I mean,
and have a dialogue.
Let's have a dialogue, Kevin. How do you said this in 2010? Whatever. Not whatever. But you said this in 2010. I'm not sure if that was the date, but let's say it was 2010.
I think it was 2010 or 2012.
Not sure.
Right around there.
So, Kevin, you said this in 2010. I want to pick your brain. First of all, where was your head at when you said this? Because that's big.
Absolutely huge.
Where is your head at today? How do you feel about what you said today?
Now, looking back on this tweet, what would you say?
Right.
Legit, would you say things differently?
How do you feel about this tweet?
Legit. That's another thing too.
Would you tweet this today?
That's another thing.
I'm not gonna say he would. Well, I'm not gonna say what he would have said because I don't know. But that's the type of dialogue that we need to have.
That's essentially what you need to have.
It's the same thing like with the Drew Brees situation that happened to Drew Brees when he was talking about kneeling for the flag and whatnot.
Yeah,
he learned after the fact of why Kaepernick actually knelt, because even to this day he didn't realize what he was kneeling for. It took all the backlash in the world to get him that. Like, to get him that understanding where
but that's my whole thing.
He doesn't feel like anyone's disrespecting the flag.
But it shouldn't take canceling for people to come to the certain
right, that's my point. Why
it should just be a conversation.
Maybe if Drew Brees had reached out or vice versa, he would have been knowledgeable on that before he spoke out on it.
I mean, that's another thing too. You're also allowed to, again, you're allowed to say things, right? You're feeling a certain type of way about this thing.
Absolutely.
So you put it out there and you're allowed to be acknowledged. Like, you're allowed to have knowledge, a bunch of knowledge starts thrown your way. Yo, this is why that's happening. And again, being as smart as Drew Brees, I would imagine he is.
He is.
Then you're pretty much saying, okay, cool. What I was saying was this. What I'm being told is this. You can come to an agreement where, this is ultimately my new viewpoint on this after being enlightened.
Right, what
it's
you're
not
talking about is learning.
Exactly, simply.
And
exactly.
people there's a lot of people in this world that just will not admit that they're wrong.
They're wrong.
In
And
any
those,
aspect.
those are the people that need to be canceled. Yeah, those are the only people that need to be canceled. If
and they're the loudest ones too. That's the crazy thing.
Right.
Those who have literally, I don't know what kind of viewpoint some motherfuckers be having, but they are the loudest ones. They are the ones on Facebook sharing this misinformation. They are the ones being vocal at all these. They are the ones, unfortunately.
And these are the ones that are sharing those fake news or whatever.
Of course.
And believing it to be true, even when proven wrong.
It's been debunked, of course.
Many, many times. They don't change their opinion.
Right.
No matter what that opinion's on.
My thing is with social media and some of these quote unquote influencers is like, okay, they have a demographic and they're trying to monetize. They're trying to make as much money off that demographic as possible. Mm-hmm. So they're going to sensationalize everything they do or say. And not only that, but they're also going to they're going to try to monetize, but their views aren't going to be as easily changed because they can't. That's their moneymaker. Their views, their so-called views, are their moneymaker.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of, and I'm starting to see that a lot with this. And I feel every time I speak on politics or touch on them, I want to just go out and say I'm not picking a side whether conservative or liberal. Carrying on. I see that a lot with this African American conservative demographic where it's like they've gained such a following for being who they are and saying what they're saying because it's polarizing. It's the shock value, this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying I agree and I'm not saying I disagree with them. But what I am saying is that people who wear those kind of hats, people who are those type of influencers aren't as easily going to be changed. You can't give them a new viewpoint, especially not on camera. Or they're not going to say on camera, you're right.
I was going to say, maybe their opinions actually do change, but they're not going to voice those opinions based on making money or because whatever
that's the bag. Right, that's the bag. So we got to just.
And it's almost like one of those things where kind of touching on that too. Like we were kind of saying earlier too, it's just like anyone with a strong opinion that again you're not willing to hear out new knowledge, right? Hear out another person's perspective. It's hard for them to just let that go because again, it's so tied into the person they are, right?
Right.
A lot of these things that we hold dear, sometimes again, it shapes us into the person we are. But again, it's about understanding that again. You might not be the smartest person in the room. You should still be susceptible to knowledge and understand that there's an equilibrium between what you're saying and what I'm holding on to so dear.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so in my opinion, if you think that you're the smartest person in the room wherever you go, you're failing. You're failing because you should be surrounding yourself with people that you know are smarter than you or that you think are smarter than you that can enlighten you day by day to make you better.
Another thing that I want the viewers to walk away with is that no matter what walk of life someone is in, you can learn something from every person.
Every single one, even
every single day.
Anyone, and I've always been told that too by a bunch of mentors. It's just like everybody has something to teach you. Right. It's just if you're willing to listen.
Exactly. It's whether you're a sponge or not.
You're a sponge or a rock. That's it. One or the other. That's right.
It. You're a SpongeBob or you're Patrick. I'm just kidding.
Well, no. See, let's not shoot shots at Patrick, man. He's a good kid. He's a good kid.
I just meant because he lives under a rock, literally.
Oh, well, that's true.
That's what I meant.
He is a starfish.
Even Patrick has his shimmers of intellectual.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I was just talking about the fact that he literally lives under a rock.
Okay. Well, let's not totally judge Patrick based on his current living conditions.
Well, yes, pink lives matter. Okay?
I want to know how COVID is handling. I want to know how the Krusty Krab is handling this whole.
No, I really want to know how Atlantis is handling this, or those aliens.
I don't think it can survive. I don't think it can survive underwater,
and I don't think it deals all that well in outer space.
Well, somebody prove me wrong because I want to know these facts.
Because my whole thing is just like, right, so space is a vacuum. So how would things...
So it sucks?
I think it's all...
I can't... Can we just end this podcast? This man hurts me every single time with some weird dad joke.
I had to get one in before, the end of this podcast. I don't think I got you guys with one last week. And Q started it off with one this week.
Did he?
A dad joke? I don't want anything that I'm associated with.
No, we called it a Tim joke. We were like, that was a Tim joke.
Until I have a child, I don't want anything that I do or say associated with dad. Anything.
You're just warming up, bro.
First of all, right? We're all gender neutral here.
Well, I mean, if you look at my laptop, my email, I'm considered a laptop as my gender. So.
Oh yeah, facts.
We're good there.
Shout out. What kind of laptop, man?
I can't even answer that question.
Like a Mac? Are you a Mac?
I'm a non-binary laptop.
I've been a coffee table.
I'm not making fun of this. I'm not making fun of this.
I was just trying to find out. I'm not trying to misgender him, man. What if he's a Mac and I'm calling him a PC? I don't want to be that guy. I'm a coffee table made out of mahogany. You know what I'm saying? A couple layers of wax on there, get a nice polish.
All right, guys.
No? Facts. All right. Boy, are we laughing at the fact I'm a coffee table?
I'm just laughing because this is the conversations that we have that shouldn't be recorded because they're so stupid.
I'm triggered.
All right, guys. All right. That was a great week. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys or talking to y'all next week.
Acknowledging. I would just want to hear y'all. Yeah, let us know. Y'all.
Thank you for
help
listening.
Us improve.
Please share, like, subscribe. I don't know if you can even subscribe on where we're at, but
we can. Yeah.
Please,
we're everywhere.
Give us feedback, please.
Yo,
add me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Facts.
You
did that one? Add me Warzone.
I'm politically correct on Instagrams. Go donate to the Black Market Initiative.
Black Market Initiative, big thing, big sponsor of this podcast.
Yes, please.
Absolutely go sponsor. They're doing good things over there. Good guys over there.
See you next week, y'all.
Peace.